Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem HaKakodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continually teach us this truth. And peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's laboring this word of true sincerity. Alright, Lord willing, this video can be edifying. And I just want to, make a quick point, and, just show a couple scriptures to back up that point. But pretty much, I came up with this lesson a couple days ago. I just had it on the reserve. But I was meditating on Job, the 20th chapter, when the Lord said that he shall rain it upon him while he is eating. And it made me think of the account in the book of Daniel when, the kingdom of Babylon was taken by Darius the Mede, which I'm going to get that account and explain how that applies. That also could be applied to Esau, which you will get the understanding, Lord willing, in this lesson. But first, I want to start right here. This is Luke chapter 10, verse 18. It says, "And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven." Okay. Now we know that this is not talking about Satan being kicked out of heaven, and him getting an army and him fighting against the Most High. But this is talking about the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, which is Esau, Edom. And Yahweh Shah was saying he beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven, meaning that when these Edomites get put out of power, it's going to be a quick downfall, man. When Yahweh Shah comes back, it's going to be a quick downfall for Esau, Edom. And also I was meditating on 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter, when Esdras saw the Lord come back, and it speaks about how Esau, his military, pretty much his fighter jets, they came at the Lord, and it said he neither lifted up an instrument of war, nor flinch, roughly paraphrasing. Because when Yahweh Shah comes back, it's not going to be a battle of the ages. It's not going to be a long fight. It's not going to be, you look at all these wars, how they would take years, It's not going to be a long battle, man. It's going to be a quick downfall for the nation of Edom, And let me go ahead and get Job 20, because the technology that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah is coming with is a technology that's out of this world, literally. That's why Esdras said one realm against another, because Yahweh Shah is coming from the spirit realm, okay, into the physical realm, along with the angels, and they're going to destroy this place. This is Job chapter 20. I'm going to go straight to the point. Well, I could start at verse 5 and then jump down. It says that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, speaking about Esau, Edom, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? This links up with Obadiah verse 18, when the Most High, after 1,000 years of slavery for the nation of Edom, they're going to be exterminated. It says, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found, yet he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him, because we ain't gonna have to look at these devils anymore. It says, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. So when it says his bones are full of the sin of his youth, meaning going, hold on, I'm doing a lesson up, meaning going all the way back to Cain. He's full of sin, going all the way back to Cain, because Cain and Abel were reincarnated as Esau and Jacob, if you can receive it. So he has to pay for what he did for slaying Abel and getting smart with the Most High, saying, am I my brother's keeper, lying. Everything he did, when he came back after that, is Esau on. Hey, even going back to the serpent, in the garden, man. But anyway, I want to go straight to the point. I don't want to make this too long, but this is Job chapter 20, verse 22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, where straits is a position of difficulty. It says, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fear of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So right when Esau eat him, mainly these elites, which according to, what is that, Isaiah, I think that's Isaiah 24, the Lord say he shall punish the kings of the earth and the ones that's on high. They're going to be the first ones to go into slavery, the elites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all these banking families, and when they're about to fill their belly, meaning when they feel like their new world order agenda, is complete, because the Most High is going to allow this devil to mandate the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, and society is going to so-called, which is not going to be normal, but it's going to be functioning. You're going to have people buying and selling with the chip. You're going to have society somewhat go back to, normal, I should say. And right when this man feels like, he could celebrate, he didn't beat prophecy, Yahweh Shah is going to come back and destroy everything, man. That's why I say the Most High shall rain it upon him while he is eating. The Most High is going to get Esau at the moment where he is about to rejoice, man. He going to get his ass right when he feel like he completed his new world order. And like I mentioned when I first opened this lesson, I had mentioned how Darius had took the kingdom and how you can apply it to when I just read in Job, the Most High shall rain it upon him while he's eating. Because let's see what the kings was doing. This is Darius. This is Daniel chapter 5. This is going into the vision. Okay, let's see where I should start. This is Daniel chapter 5. Okay, I'm gonna just start at verse 1, then I'm gonna jump around. It says, Belshazzar the king made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords and drink wine before the 1,000. So he made a great feast and he was drinking wine. It says, Belshazzar, while he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the golden and silver vessels which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple which was in Jerusalem. It says that the king and his princes, it says his wives and his concubines might drink therein. All right, hold on. So let me roll these windows up. Okay, and it says, then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of the Most High, which was at Jerusalem, and the king and his princes, his wives, and his concubines drank in them. It says they drank wine and praised the gods of gold and of silver, of brass, of iron, of wood, and of stone. So they was having a good time, man. They was praising their gods, and this is what Esau gonna do. When he feel like his new world order is complete, he gonna be praising Satan and all these demons on the left-hand side, and best believe they gonna be, having a feast. They gonna be enjoying themselves. They done killed off a lot of people. The chip is mandatory. Everything that they wanted to come to pass is finally happened. It's finally happening. But let's see what happened to Belshazzar. It says, in the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand and wrote over against the candlestick upon the plaister on the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loose, and his knees smote one against another. It says, the king cried aloud to bring in the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers. And the king spake and said to the wise men of Babylon, Whosoever shall read this writing and shew me the interpretation thereof shall be clothed with scarlet and have a chain of gold about his neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom. It says, then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing nor make known to the king the interpretation thereof. It says, then was King Belshazzar greatly troubled, and his countenance was changed to him, and his lords were astonished. So, I just want to jump straight to the point. Pretty much Daniel came in. Verse 13, then was Daniel brought in before the king, and the king spake and said unto Daniel, art thou that Daniel, which art of the children of the captivity of Judah, whom the king my father brought out of Jewry? He says, I have even heard of thee, that the spirit of the gods is in thee, and that light and understanding and excellent wisdom is found in thee. Okay, so pretty much Daniel is going to break down a vision, jumping down. It says, verse 20, but when his heart was lifted up and his mind hardened in pride, he was disposed from the kingly throne, and they took his glory from him. Which, matter of fact, let me read verse 17. It says, then Daniel answered and said before the king, let thy gifts be to thyself, and give thy rewards to another. Yet I will read the writing unto the king, and make known to him the interpretation. O thou king, the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father a kingdom and majesty and glory and honor. And for the majesty that he gave him, all people, nations, and languages trembled in fear before him. Whom he would, he slew, and whom he would, he kept alive, and whom he would, he set up, and whom he would, he put down. But when his heart was lifted up, and his mind hardened in pride, he was disposed from the kingly throne, and they took his glory from him. And he was driven from the sons of men, and his heart was made like the beast, which you could read that account. The Most High humbled Nebuchadnezzar and gave him the mind of a beast. It says, and his heart was made like the beast, and his dwelling was with the wild asses. They fed him with grass like oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till he knew that the Most High ruled in the kingdom of men, and that he appointeth over it whomsoever he will. It says, and thou his son, O Belshazzar, has not humbled thine heart, though thou knewest all this. See, he didn't humble himself. And he knew what happened in Esau. It applies to him too, man. He knows our power. He knows what happened to Pharaoh. He knows what happened to all these kingdoms of old, but he feel like he could beat the Most High. It says, but has lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords, thy wives, and thy concubines have drunk wine in them, and has not prayed, and thou hast praised the gods of silver and gold, of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know, and the power in whose hand thy breath is, damn, and whose are all thy ways hast thou not glorified. You see that? So I just want to jump down. It says, in that night was Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, slain, and Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. So pretty much the reason why I went into all this is like what I read in Job, the 20th chapter. It says, the Most High shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Well, what was Belshazzar doing? He was eating and turning up. And then Darius told him, like, look, the Most High about to take you out. And it says, in that night, he was slain. It was a surgical strike. He was taken down. And the same, and this applies to Esau Edom, because right when he is turning up and eating and celebrating, in that same hour, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to take him out, and he's going to fall down as lightning, man. It's going to be a quick destruction. But Lord willing, this video is edifying, and with that, I'm going to say shalom.